Hey guys, Allison here. Well, today I want to speak to people who have come from not so perfect families. And maybe you're living in a not so perfect family right now. Now, there hasn't been a perfect family since the Holy Family, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. There's always some degree of dysfunction or craziness or difficulties because we're human beings with a fallen nature and we all are wounded and we all have our foibles and it's difficult. Now, the family is supposed to be that place where we learn how to get along with one another, how to love, how to forgive. And, again, if we don't have the bumps and bruises, we're never going to learn those things, right? So we are going to grow up in imperfect situations. But sometimes we let it get to us an awful lot. And I think that sometimes we need to kind of step away and observe it differently. I remember years ago when I worked in commercial real estate, I worked in a crazy office. Everybody there was a character. I mean, we had an ex-prize fighter. We had somebody who produced a horror movie. Our boss was a character. And I always joked that, hey, I should write a sitcom. And then I realized that, oh my gosh, I'm one of the characters, right? I'm the devout Catholic right to life activist working in this crazy situation. So we're all characters in a sitcom. And I think if you could stop and look at your family as a sitcom, right? And I'm not talking about when there's really serious stuff going on, but if we could just step out of it and say, you know what, everybody here is a character. And if I were going to write a sitcom, how would I write it? And what role would I be playing in it? One of the reasons that like a show like Everybody Loves Raymond is so popular, still after so many years, I still watch the reruns, is because it's relatable. All right, we know that there's caricatures of people. All right, there's those extremes, And I think if we could step out and look at that, I know over the years when I've had couples in counseling and they're going to visit relatives for the holidays and they're worried because the same things seem to happen. All right, so-and-so gets drunk and then he starts doing this, so this one gets jealous or whatever it is. So often I would tell them to write a list of the top 10 things they do that drive you crazy. Share the list with one another and then see how many you can check off. So instead of like hoping it's going to be normal, you're really focused on the reality and you're having a sense of humor about it. So that's my advice to you. Picture your family as a sitcom and maybe even take some time, flesh out the characters. And sometimes we need to not take it that seriously. Now, you may be more interested in working on yourself, and maybe you've worked on yourself. I remember a gentleman I had in counseling many years ago, and it was a dysfunctional family, of course, and his mother and his sister really drove him crazy. So after, several weeks in therapy, he looked at me really frustrated and said, "Why aren't they changing?" And I looked around, I got up, I looked behind the door, I looked under my chair, and I said, "They're not here. They have never indicated any desire to change. So we can't expect people to change who don't want to change." But often when we make changes, sometimes just in the way we respond to them or don't respond to them, it can affect changes in a family. But more importantly, it can affect changes in you in terms of how you choose to look at it. So you can have a sense of humor, see them as characters, set your boundaries. If this is a struggle, if it's really dysfunctional, absolutely work with a Catholic therapist who can help you if there's a lot of family trauma there. But if it's just like, all right, I need to find out how to have a better relationship with family members, how we can make the holidays a little bit more fun without all this contention or the craziness. Like I said, make a list of what you can expect because they probably won't disappoint you. But maybe sitting down with a life coach who can help you to say, okay, what are new ways of responding here? What's the goal that I have? Like if I'm planning a holiday at my house or something, how can I ensure that I don't get the same result? Or what are some suggestions and everything? That's where coaching can be really, really helpful. So there's links below this video, catholictherapist.com, catholiclifecoaches.com. Have a sense of humor about it because you're a character in the sitcom too. God bless you.